Welcome back to yet another episode. So I'm out in the wilderness. It's absolutely frozen. It's lots of wind. The temperature's actually not too bad right now for Canada. So I came out here to shoot some songbirds, little tiny, very fast critters. I'm not sure if you can see there, right over there. Yeah, so just came out to shoot some songbirds, hopefully get some in flight. I'm using the 55-300 PLM lens on the K-3 Mark III. And, just haven't used it in a while since I got the 150-450. But given the conditions, like I said, it's temperature's not too bad, but it is still a little chilly if you've been out here for a while. So wanted something lightweight, portable. Came out primarily wanting to get some of the songbirds and whatnot, but at the same time I wasn't sure how much there would actually be around, so I wanted some versatility in regards to the zoom range. So 55-300 is perfect, especially on a crop sensor camera. And let's just grab some shots and see what happens. So the first thing that I realized very quickly is using AF.C in close proximity to songbirds that are completely unpredictable in their flight is the equivalent of trying to snatch a fly out of the air with your bare hand. You may be able to do it once every 5,000 tries, but overall it is an absolute feat in impossibility. And we know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So I quickly switched over to AFS, and I just pre-focused on the area, hoping that within that focal distance would be where one of these would actually land in the scene. So that was actually a better switch in regards to being able to capture them in flight, because they're absolutely unpredictable. It's not a knock on the tracking capability of the K3 Mark III. It's more of the fact that because you have such a small area of a field of view, once they change direction, they're just out of the frame. You just can't see them anymore. So, you just need to use the settings that actually work for the environment that you're specifically shooting in. And as you can see, even though it did become pretty cold after some time, I did take I believe it was 110 shots. Out of those 110 shots, there were about 52 that I kept. And again, it's not a knock on the camera. It's just a lot of times I would go to shoot and the bird just was no longer in that area whatsoever. So, you just have to figure out exactly what the best settings would be for the environment that you're shooting in and just go from there. Things I noticed while I was out shooting. One, wintertime and myself don't get along so well. I guess as I'm getting older, the colder temperatures really do get to me. I'm not really a glove shooter. I do have thin gloves, but it's hard for me to feel the buttons and all that stuff. I like the tactile feel. I need that in my life. I feel it with my hands. Yeah, so that was one thing. Another thing, relying on AF.C all the time for anything that's in flight doesn't always work the best way that you would think. There are times when you just need to pre-focus and use AF.C. There are times when you just need to pre-focus and use AFS. Those, especially for small songbirds that are moving erratically, and you don't have a lot of angle of view in order to work with, and I was asked why I did not take the 150-450. I have uploaded some of these pictures on PENTAX groups. The reason being is I knew I would be in very close proximity to the subjects I'd be shooting, so I wanted the wider angle. Now, the 150-450, marvelous lens, I love it. However, it would not have been the right lens for that situation, and that is why I chose the HD DA 55-300 PLM, given the fact that it's 55-300. A lot of these shots, I think they were probably shot around 70, 80 millimeters, 100. A few of them were at 300. But for capturing the birds in flight, what I was trying to do is get the wider angle of view and then crop in after the fact, right? Because you just want to get those unpredictable shots. And if you can't predict it, you have no idea where to aim the camera. So when you're shooting something and your focal range is, your angle of view is this, you can't, it's very difficult. Whereas if you have a wider angle to play with, anything that's moving along here, you can just capture. You don't have to move as much, right? So that is the trade-off in a nutshell. Other than that, the other thing too, I was using a third-party battery, a Numoa battery, and it was already on low, and I was stress testing. I wanted to see how many shots I could actually get when the battery is already saying it's low. And I was able to pull off 110 shots when the battery had pretty much nothing left. I do think I would have been able to get many more shots, maybe 50 or so shots out of a genuine PENTAX battery. So the battery life on the K3 Mark III, even when it is on a low setting, when the battery is almost depleted, you can still fire off quite a number of shots. I don't know if that has to do with the heat generated by the camera, or if it's just the software and whatnot is just a more efficient camera in regards to battery usage. But I was very impressed with the amount of shots I was able to get when the battery already said it was low. The other thing is, the very last shot that I got, that's when the camera just stopped working. And I was looking through the viewfinder, and the overlays on the viewfinder were still there. So when I went to actually take the next shot, nothing happened, and that's when I pulled the camera away from my face and I looked. The screen wasn't coming on, and I realized that the battery just died. But strictly looking through the viewfinder, not that easy to tell that the battery actually did die. So those are some other things I noticed while I was out shooting. Now, in regards to saving the image, because that was the thing I was worried about, was, oh my god, the battery just died, the camera just shut off, those last shots I took, are they gone? No, it actually did save them to the buffer. So it looks like there's a bit of, the battery's dead, but it's not so dead that the camera can't save the shots that you just took. So that is a positive that I feel anyway. And that's it for this video. If you like the video, leave a like. If you have not already, please do subscribe. Always helps out. If you want to support the channel, you know what to do. That info is at the bottom of the description. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and you'll see me in my next video. I'm out.